For someone to be whole and to be content, this person needs to be operating on their full potential. And in order to do so, there are 5 questions that need to be answered correctly and acted upon accordingly. I come to realize that one of the hardest questions for me to answer, either at interviews or wherever I go, or when I'm talking to someone, is tell me about yourself, or not really a question, but who are you? That could be translated into who are you? But people will tell you, okay, tell me about yourself. I find that to be one of the hardest question or comments for me to answer. So, us as human being, who are we? That's one of the dominating questions. So the question of who are you, how would you answer that? When someone asks you, who are you? What do you answer? There are different ways that we can answer based on which situation we're in. If it's for a job interview, most likely we would say things that, show our employer that we are qualified to do the job that we're being interviewed for. Or if it's with a friend, or if it's someone we're interested in, we would say other things which we think they would be looking for when it comes to relationship. But at the core, deep down, who are we? And to answer that question, we have to go back to the source. What does God say about us? Who does God say that we are? To answer that question, I am Anayel, who God says that I am. That is who I am. So, but what does God say? What does God say that I am? Who does God say that I am? First of all, God says that I was created in His image, not my physical appearance, but I was created in His likeness. I am like God. In Psalm 8, the Bible tells us that God created us just a little bit inferior to God, and He gives us glory and dominion and majesty. So I say that it crowns us with majesty. So we are royalty, we are royal, we are majesty, and we have dominion. We are dominators. That's what God calls us to be. He said that we will dominate on everything that He has created in Genesis 1 verse 26. It says that we will dominate on everything that God has created. It is up to us to claim that domination. It is up to us to take that authority. I realize I've been singing the song by Sinach saying, I know who God says that I am, but deep down I never really knew who God says that I was. I said the words, not just with the song, but many other verses, but I never really, the meaning was not really there. But I'm looking and I'm like, this is what God says about me. God says that I'm loved. I am wonderfully and beautifully made. And other people are calling you names. Other people, they used your flaws to describe you, but that is not who you are. That is not who you are. You are who God says that you are. Look at Gideon. God come to him and call him mighty warrior. And Gideon in the book of Judges, what was he doing? He was hiding. He was hiding from the enemies who were trying to take everything that they had and leave them to starve. Even the crops that they grew, took everything. He was left with nothing. He was in poverty. He was living in scarcity. And he was afraid. But then what did God say? God said, you are a mighty warrior. So God called him according to what he was going to do, according to the potential that he put from the inside of him, and we are who we are, not because of what we have, but because of whose we are. We are God's children. We are created in His image. So this is what defines us, not our flaws, not our mistakes, not what people say about us, not the labels that society put on us, like not the things that calling us felons, convict, calling us if you got pregnant, if you're a divorcee, calling you by your flaws or your mistakes or your past is not who you are. This is a part of who you are. This is an experience that shaped who you are to make you. It's just an experience. to shape you into everything that God calls you to be. But that's not who you are. It's just like, if you have pasta, would you call the pasta cheese just because there's cheese in the pasta? Absolutely not. It's just an ingredient. Just like our mistakes are just an ingredient. But they are not who we are. Deep down, beneath the surface, there is so much more to who we are than our flaws. There are greater things than our flaws. So when people call you by your past mistakes, by your flaws, declare the word of God. Say who God says that you are. You are more than a conqueror. You are a dominator. God calls you to dominate. If you're a child of God, then that is who you are. And you are loved, beautifully and wonderfully made. For those of you they bully, for those of you they call ugly, you are who God says that you are. That is your identity. God made you, so He gets to define you. Not other people. They didn't make you, they didn't create you. So you are defined by the Creator. What the Creator says about you. I am whom God says that I am. Period.